Hello everyone and welcome back to this new weekly vlog. I finished the vlog last week, but I don't think it was very interesting. But anyway, I'm going to post it anyway. Today we are on a journey to Coria del Rio. Yeah? And also Asnalcata.
Yeah.
Which is the hardest thing for me to say because it's got too many consonants in it and not enough vowels that are different to A. So yeah, there's a car. So we're going on a little journey and I will show you what's happening and what's happening for the rest of the week as well. This week is a long weekend in Spain, so we might do something else during the week simply because we have time to do things. But yeah, I will show you what we get up to. As I mentioned before, this week was a long weekend, and even though we had 2 days off, I didn't really seem to film that much. I just got quite a few time lapses like this one. As you can see, I am hanging out my washing and thrilling and taking it outside. I also decided to make a spinach and garlic meal for lunch on this Monday. I'd had my classes, my English classes that I teach all morning, and I was just having my coffee before I had lunch, and that was pretty much it for this day. It's a bit strange here because when they have a public holiday, they don't necessarily have it on the Monday or the Friday. So this public holiday was actually on a Tuesday because it's a really religious holiday, and that meant we got a day off in the middle of the week, which was kind of weird. But here we went to the gym. I did a little bit of walking on like the elliptical and stuff, but then I pretty swiftly moved to the pool because I have really been loving swimming lately rather than doing other sorts of exercises. And then we just went back home. It was the middle of the day by this point, about 11 or 12. And after that we went walking into the centre of Triana, into the main street of Triana, I suppose, the main pedestrian street, where we had some lunch, and then we just went home, and that was pretty much it for our long weekend. Hello guys, so I thought since I hadn't filmed much this week, I've only filmed about 4 minutes footage, that I would add something to the end of the vlog just to bulk it out and to give you guys something else to watch. and I thought that I would add something about some of the questions that I receive about Seville. I have filmed an in-depth Q&A, but I'm just going to go over some of like the most commonly asked, I would say, the questions people ask me most often about coming to Seville, to visit Seville, to see what it's like, what you should do, etc., etc. So first of all is the attractions in Seville. What attractions should I visit? What are the main attractions? What should I do, basically? And I think that obviously this really depends on who you are as a person. I'm not going to say that you should do something for your holiday and that's a must-do thing, but I think there are lots of great things that you can do in Seville when you visit, and some of those things are very popular touristic things. So first of all, I would say the cathedral is a very big ticket place for people to visit. It's beautiful inside. On Sundays, if you attend mass, you can visit for free, but typically you do have to pay to enter. As well as that, there is the Giralda on top of the cathedral. It's this beautiful tower, lots of stairs going up. You can get great views of the city. As well as that, there's the Alcázar, which is like a military palace, and that's also great to visit. There's Las Setas, Plaza de España, and also the Jewish quarters, so Barrio Santa Cruz, and Triana as well, near where I live. There's a beautiful bridge, there's a market, and there's also great little winding historic streets. The second question is, when should I visit Seville? Lots of people ask me, oh, should I come in summer? The answer is no. Do not come to Seville in summer. The weather is so hot. It's like minimum is 37 during the day, minimum. And it gets up to mid-40s. A lot of places don't have air conditioning. Shops will have air conditioning, but if you're staying in an Airbnb, there might not be air conditioning. Sometimes some hotels don't have air conditioning either. So it's very, very hot. And if you're not used to the heat, it's not an enjoyable experience. It's not an enjoyable experience even if you are used to the heat, let's be honest. But I would say visiting in either spring or autumn, so from March to May, or from September to November, are really good times to visit. I always get confused with the seasons here because they're the opposite to Australia. And the weather's really great. It's, usually sunny every day, very few days of rain here. And it's nice and cool. There'll be a breeze. You can walk around in the sun. You can really enjoy yourself without feeling overwhelmed by the heat. So that's when I would say would be the best time to visit. The third question I usually get is, what should I eat? What best food recommendations you have? And again, this is a really difficult one because obviously everyone's diets are going to be incredibly different and everyone's tastes are incredibly different. So what I like is probably not going to be what you like. However, in saying that, some of the most famous dishes, I would say, in the south, some of the most famous tapas things could be, this is not an entire list, so Spaniards and Andalusians don't come for me, please. But we've got things like salmorejo, gazpacho, pisto, which is like a tomato-based stew that often has fried egg on top. I'm trying to think of vegetarian things first. Berenjenas, which is like fried eggplant in a thin batter, and often honey is put on top, which is really delicious. What else have we got? There's things like patatas aliñados, papas aliñadas, as my mother-in-law calls them, which are potatoes in terms of meat things. I'm vegetarian, so I don't eat meat things, but you can get a lot of fried fish, or also things like espinacas con garbanzos or alcachofas for vegetarian. Things like solomillo al whisky or solomillo al roquefort. They're like pork-based sandwich with a sauce with them. Lots of other meat dishes are really good here. There are lots of meat stews and also lots of fish as well. especially if you go somewhere close to the coast like Huelva or Mathagon, Puntambria or Madalascañas or even Cadiz. There's a lot more fish dishes there, and obviously those are very fresh fish dishes because they're usually caught in that location on the same day. I should say that things like paella are not traditional to Seville. So paella is traditional to Valencia, so another region in Spain. However, there are a lot of dishes that are similar to paella, so rice, cooked rice. And paella will be made well here, of course, because it's Spain, but people have the misconception that paella is traditional to Seville, and it's not. Paella is from one region in Spain. Just like things like jamón, for example, jamón serrano is from areas in Huelva and Seville, very traditional to those areas. So if you can get good jamón is another thing that's traditional to this area. Next question is about flamenco. People always ask you about flamenco, and Seville is the heart of the flamenco south. This is where flamenco originated. This is obviously a very debated topic again. However, I am of the opinion that flamenco originated in the south. It is a southern thing, and it was adopted across Spain. And it is also a gypsy thing, so it's a very part of an ethnic community. So of course it's all over Spain, not just in one specific region, but I do think the south is the home of flamenco, shall we say. There are lots of great places to see flamenco shows. I think my favorite show is Under las Setas because one of my friends performs there, and also in the Jewish Quarter there's lots of lovely places that you can visit as well. I would say the best thing to do to find a traditional show is maybe head slightly away from the tourist areas, the most touristic areas, so maybe not next to the cathedral, for example, and try to look at reviews online beforehand to see if the show is a good show. Final question is, where can I visit from Seville if I'm visiting Seville? This depends if you have a car or not. I do advise people not to get a car if you're coming to Spain because it's very difficult to drive, and there's a lot of challenges, shall we say, present on the roads in Spain. But I would say that going to places like Cordoba to see the mezquita, like the big mosque in Cordoba, or Granada can be really nice, Ronda. These are quite big day trips, but you can catch the train as well. The trains are very cheap and they only take about an hour to go to each of those places. It's very feasible to do a day trip. And also if you've got a car, going to places like Huelva, to El Rocío, which is a very traditional flamenco town. I'm not sure if you will have seen on my Instagram, but I posted a number of photos where we went to El Rocío, which is a pilgrimage in the town of El Rocío. What else? Lots of people go to Cadiz from Seville. There's the Sierra de Huelva, Sierra de Sevilla, places like Carmona. Carmona's getting very popular these days. Lots of people are visiting there. You can even visit Portugal realistically if you have a car. It's only an hour or so to get to Portugal. You could easily go and come back in a day after visiting some of the south of Portugal. So that is just a very quick bullet pointed version of what you can do if you come and visit Seville, when's best to come, etc, etc. If you like this kind of video, please let me know. I am going to try and film more in my next weekly vlog, but obviously that depends on what I get up to, what's going on. But yeah, I think I will see you all next week, and this will be the end of my weekly video. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you then. Bye.